friends, it's Sadie and Tegan. Welcome back to our Golden 20s podcast. We are excited for today's episode because we're talking all about being the main character and living your life as if you're in a rom-com. And I feel like we talked about rom-coms a bit in a few episodes ago, and we were both thriving. So we're like, let's just make this a whole episode because this is always so much fun to talk about. And I feel like if you're just feeling kind of like bleh or like you need something to spice up your life a little bit, I feel like it's nice just to find ways to romanticize your life to, I don't know, add a little sparkle back into the day-to-day. So that is what we're talking about today. But before we jump into that, we're going to do a new segment for you guys, and we're calling it What's the 411? And we're just going to talk about things that this week, things that we're currently watching or listening to. So, Tag, do you want to kick us off? Tell us, what's the 411?
Yeah, for sure. Well, to fill everyone in, I just got back from a little vacation and I purposely only watched rom-coms on my flights both there and home. So I am ready. I was researching and yeah, so before I left for that, things I've been watching so much like HBO. I did a Sex and the City rewatch because I heard like someone, I don't know if it was the creator or one of the writers, saying that they purposely set it in what they call like an eternal spring. And so now I'm like, every spring I've got to watch Sex and the City because that's what it's set in. And I've also been watching The Last of Us, like everyone else in the world, it feels like, and Succession.
Yeah.
I just got into and now I'm obsessed. But over the last week while I've been gone, the only sort of connection to the outside world I had was through TikTok, which is kind of bizarre. But so I've been like very into the Selena Gomez, like Hailey Bieber drama where I don't know. It's just like every night I'm like, so what went down? Who said what? So I've been into that. And Alex Earl is now at the point where she's like 90% of my For You page. So I'll scroll and it'll be like Selena Gomez video, Alex video, Selena Gomez video, Alex video. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on, but I'm not mad about it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. My TikTok's looking pretty much the same as yours. And I don't even know how I got on the Selena Gomez stuff because I don't know, actually. I feel like maybe I just started getting into her videos, like, and Rare Beauty is always on my For You page. And then all of a sudden I'm now getting all like the Selena Gomez fans just like drama, walking us through the timeline of events and stuff. And I'm like, this is so silly. Like these girls, I don't know. It just seems so trivial. But at the same time, I feel so bad because I'm like, we know these girls also struggle with their mental health. So like, why are we making this a thing? And I feel part of it's also the fans making it more than it really is. And it's like, what's happening here? It's hard for me to wrap my head around.
It's crazy. Well, and I see like Hailey Bieber's really limiting her comments on her Instagram because then there's always a part of me that's like, maybe this is just like what my TikTok looks like and not actually the reality of the world. But then I'm like, oh, nope, she's turning off the comments. So people are dragging her. But yeah, it's been entertaining at least.
Yeah, always something. Also, I find with Alex Earl, I'm the same where I feel like I don't even know if I follow her. I must follow her at this point, but like it's just since so many other people are like talking about her and whatnot, my For You page is just like her all the time. I just saw her videos with Patrick Ta, so then I got deep into that, watched all her videos with him, went to his page, watched all their videos together, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is quality content.
Be deeper into it. Yeah. Because I feel like you watch one and that's it.
Yeah. And even deeper into beauty TikTok, which I do not need to be. Like, I'm so easily influenced on beauty TikTok. I'm like making it a monthly goal for March to not buy anything at Sephora because I just need to chill out. Unless it's Patrick Ta. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm glad you were watching all the rom-coms. I feel like they make great flight watches, you know? and just
Yeah.
like easy watches too. It's funny you mentioned Sex in the City because I was like, oh God, the segment sounds fun, but I'm always watching the same things. Like
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
now I'm rewatching Sex and the City and Gilmore Girls. Like it's happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I did bring something else to the table today, and it's a YouTuber I've been watching. And I feel like
Oh, nice.
this is actually why I never really watch relevant or new TV shows. It's because I'm just watching YouTube all the time. So this is
Mhm.
not a new YouTuber. She's just new to me, but her name or her handle is It's Yu Yen, and I think she's like over 800,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like she's a big deal, but new to me, like I said. So I just started watching her videos this past weekend. She was like recommended to me, and I went on a rabbit hole of just watching all of her recent videos from like the
Mhm.
past 2 months, like binge watching it like it was a TV show. But I don't know. She just has like good vibes. She's based in New York. Basically, all of the YouTubers I
Mhm.
watch are just blog or vlogs, her daily life, that kind of vibe. But it's just like very chill Zen vibes. I feel like, I don't know. She's like super into ceramic, so she like goes to like ceramic classes, goes to Pilates. And I'm just like, I don't know,
Mm,
just
nice.
it's
Yeah.
good vibes. But that's what I've been watching.
Yeah.
So that's what's on my
Love it.
list outside of Sex in the City and Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it. Yeah, well, speaking of sort of rom-coms and the ones that I was watching, I specifically watched Easy A, which is like one of my favorite rom-coms ever. I don't know why, but I just like am obsessed with that movie. And it is like very inspirational, at least to
Yeah.
me. Like, I don't know if it's because it was like set in the year that I was in high school. Whereas, like, some of the more classic ones, like Mean Girls,
Yeah.
came out when we were in like elementary school. So it's like still a little bit, I don't know, retro, but Easy A, I was like, I would wear that outfit. I know that's not fashionable anymore, but I would wear that. Like, I would listen to this music. I would style my hair like that. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe of everything we're talking about today is like how to make your life feel like you're in a rom-com. So
Yeah.
first things first, everyone go watch Easy A because to me that is like the ideal.
I remember you telling me to watch that movie. I'm pretty sure I only watched it because you were obsessed with it when it like first came out,
Yeah.
or you liked it a lot, and I was like, okay, I'll get it. So I got it on DVD, and then I just watched it so much because, well, again, it's Emma
Yeah.
Stone. I feel like last time we were talking about rom-coms, I was like, I just love Emma Stone, and it's a classic case of that again, where I'm just like, she can do no
Mhm.
wrong. But that is very, yeah, like main character vibes to the T. I'll need to
Yeah.
rewatch it because it's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's so good. And her room
Yeah.
is aesthetic. Like I
Yeah.
think we're going to sort of talk about three different categories, which is like your living space, your wardrobe, and your sort of lifestyle. And yeah, her room is very aesthetic. Obviously, she has like a whole outfit montage of her coming up with her sort of like high class prostitute or whatever they call it
Yeah.
outfits. And yeah, so she definitely, Olive, the character in that movie, definitely sort of embodies the things that we're going to talk about, I think.
Yeah.
So, to get started, maybe we can talk about sort of the living space, aesthetic apartment, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like you nailed it exactly. It's especially in like a teenage rom-com or like teenage coming of age movie that is my guilty pleasure. They always have like the
Mm-hmm.
cutest bedroom. And then if it's like,
Yeah.
okay, young adult rom-com type, sometimes it's like the girl moving out, just broke up with her boyfriend, moving out, and she's like finding her own personal decor style or whatever it is. But again, has such a
Yeah.
cute space. And an aesthetic apartment is just makes you feel like you're a main character. So I saw this thing on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok I wanted to mention. It was from a girl named Avery Clare. Her handle's AC Nugs. I don't know. Want to give credit? I don't think she's like a huge
Yeah.
influencer or anything, but her video took off a little bit and she's talking about what she calls clustering. And she said that clustering is how you make your apartment a main character's apartment. And essentially, it's the idea of just kind of like scattering things around to make it look effortlessly beautiful. And if you think about, I don't
Mhm.
know, I kind of think about like You've Got Mail, and you're in Meg Ryan's apartment and she just has like stuff everywhere, but it just is like, this is the space that she would live in. You know what I mean? Like, there's just stuff
Yeah.
everywhere, but it looks so good. It doesn't look messy necessarily. It just looks effortlessly
Yeah.
beautiful. So that's the whole idea of clustering. So Avery Clare said it's the art of taking your things, putting them on display in little corners of your apartment. And she said it's like little
Mhm.
clusters of personality that make your white box apartment a movie set. And I love that so much. Like, just the idea of it, I'm like inspired. But even looking around my own apartment, I always group things. I feel like in one of actually the past home episodes we have, I gave this tip of grouping things in odd numbers, like typically like grouping things in
Mhm.
threes. So at my kitchen sink, I have like my hand soap, my dish soap, and a little like veggie wash all grouped together on the side of my sink. Or beside my stove, I have like
Yeah.
my oil, my salt and pepper, and my oven mitt. It's just like grouped together. Or I guess in this case, it's
Yeah.
clustered together. But I even think of, since I'm a crazy person obsessed with New York, as I already mentioned in my YouTube rant earlier, I watch so many like New York apartment tours on YouTube as well. And I feel like New Yorkers, since they're so pressed for space, they put the most random things in the most random spots. But that's what makes it so
Yeah.
charming. And I feel such a main character moment. So it's like maybe your nail polish is kept on top of the fridge and it's like feels out of place, but it's just so cute and quirky? So I feel
Mhm.
like that could be something that's fairly easy. You don't necessarily need new things. Like, just look at your existing stuff. And what Avery Clare said in her video was take your things out of your drawer and just cluster them around your apartment in cute aesthetic
Yeah.
groupings.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with something we've talked a lot about in the past, which is only buying things that you really love or
Hmm.
that sort of like speak to you or spark joy, if you like that terminology. Because, like, in the past, I have lived with stuff where it's like, yeah, this is okay, it gets the job done. And like a lot of times when you have no money, you're a student, you're like, I'm buying the cheapest thing. I don't care what it looks like because we have to be responsible and realistic.
Yeah.
But now, if you have a job, it's like I will spend a little more money on, say, oven mitts if there's something that I truly love, and then I'll have them on display in a hook in my kitchen instead of hidden in a drawer. Or like hand soap. I am a crazy person and I only buy hand soap that I love, like the feel, the smell, the look of it on the counter, because I don't know, that's like a part of it. And then
Yeah,
everything in your home kind of speaks to your personality. And at least in
exactly.
my home, I feel like anyone could walk through and be like, "What's this?" and hold it up, and I could tell them like some whole weird personal anecdote about why I purchased it. It's not like, "Oh, I got it at the grocery store in the decor aisle because I thought I needed a knickknack to fill up that space." And so,
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like that's part of it too, is collecting and keeping things that you truly love and that are special to you, and then it makes your home so personalized and special as well.
totally. It cultivates or curates that movie set that's just so aligned to your personality. I love it.
Yeah, and sort of speaking about like cultivating or curating a vibe, which is something I'm very passionate about. I also wanted to say that I like to pick like a soundtrack and a scent for like the
Mm,
apartment, and it could be like seasonal or room by room, but it's like, what do you want your home to feel like? And then bring that sound and bring that smell into the area. Like if you want your apartment to be like a zen oasis, let that guide what kind of candles you're getting and what kind of music you're playing and when the music is playing and all that sort of thing, which is maybe a little extra, but I feel like that's the easiest way for me to sort of feel like the main character is if I'm cooking, I'm like, I'm blasting jazz
Mm-hmm.
and I am pretending that I am the best chef in the world who's like cooking a delicious meal and I'm the main character of this movie.
I love it so much. I really want to get into fragrance layering. So, like,
Mm.
candles in different rooms of your apartment that like go together,
Yeah.
because right now I'm very much just like, this candle smells nice, so I light it in my living room and that's
Right.
that, but I've been hearing so much about fragrance layering and how it does that exactly. Is it's like really, it's like complementing scents throughout your entire house, so it's not just the vibe of
Right.
one room, it's like your whole space. So that's something I don't even know how to get more into it, because I'm like, maybe I just need to learn about what scents go together, but at the same time,
Mm.
maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Like, I feel like I'm gravitating towards the same types of candles all the time, so they probably go
Right.
together better than I realize, but that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I think ties into your
Mm.
whole the scent of your apartment.
Yeah, 100%.
I also love when people come into your apartment. My mom does this all the time. She'll be like, "It just smells like you." And I'm like, "What does that smell like?" Like,
Aw.
what, because
Yeah.
when you're in it, you can't smell it. But I'm like, yes, as main characters, we have our own scent. Like, our space just
Yeah.
smells like
Yeah.
us. Anyway, I think you brought up a great point, especially in the kitchen. I think something else you could do to really feel like a main character when you're blasting that jazz or cooking away is wearing an apron. I feel like that also, it's just like, this is a movie scene. This is my cooking moment because I'm wearing an apron, and,
Yeah.
you know, it's decided that's what this is all about right now. So I think that could be a really easy way to feel like the main character, and just like mentally when you're putting that on, being like, okay, this is all I need to
Yeah.
think about and focus on right now. I think is great. Or same idea as like wearing rubber gloves while you're cleaning, like very,
Mhm.
I don't know. I picture, for some reason, I feel I'm going to bring this up again in a bit, but the rom-com that always comes to mind for me, like you were saying, Easy A, mine is A Cinderella
Yeah.
Story with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray. It comes up in my head so often, and it just came up in my head right now thinking about rubber gloves. Like when she's like cleaning, she's scrubbing the floors at the diner or something, she has these like pink rubber gloves
Mhm.
on, her apron on. That is the exact vibe I'm
Yeah.
picturing for both of these things, but just again makes you feel like a main character.
Yeah.
Romanticizes, I guess it romanticizes those very everyday moments by putting on an apron or
Yes.
wearing your gloves. Like obviously they're
Yeah.
practical as well, but if you don't normally do it, it just feels extra special to take that extra
Mhm.
intention to the chore that you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. And like if you're purchasing a cute apron like from Anthropology, they have the cutest aprons there.
Yeah,
That's another thing that you can like have on display in
totally.
your kitchen and be like,
Yeah.
"Look how extra I am with my $80 apron." I don't know how much they cost. That's a guess. But yeah, and then it's special if you're wearing that fancy apron, you're like, "Yeah, this is serious business right now." I think the next thing I wanted to bring up, which I also hear about a lot of on TikTok, but is also a passion of mine, I guess, is no overhead lighting
Yes,
because that
same.
just kills the vibe
Yes.
instantly. And this is like, I don't know if it's because in film you don't shoot with overhead lighting. So, but that's not very realistic for most people in, the average day. But if you want to like cultivate the cozy, chill vibe or make your house feel like a movie, don't turn on the overhead lights. Instead, find lamps, light candles, open the blinds, that kind of thing. And I've seen so many trends lately on TikTok. Like there was a trend going around of putting like a little lamp on your kitchen counter and only
Mhm.
cooking by this little lamp. And it's like, yeah, if you look at famous kitchens from movies, a lot of them have like a little lamp on the counter. And it's because they don't want to have, just a big bright light over top of the actor. And so they'll have these little lamps, but it's such a like 90s cute feeling. And I even go extra and have like little candlesticks. And sometimes I'm like, if I need to do my dishes, I'm like, I'm doing my dishes by candlelight because that is the
So
vibe right now.
magical. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, this is a main character moment for sure.
Totally. I love that so much. I'm also an anti overhead lighting person. Like,
Yeah.
the only exception is in my kitchen, and it's because I don't have a lamp in there. But maybe this is
Yeah.
inspiring me to put one in there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Dishes by candlelight sound amazing as well. I love
Yeah.
it. The last piece from me on the apartment side of rom-com living is kind of going, I guess, back to the first point a little bit of having unique items that are full of personality. I think something
Mhm.
else to keep in mind is looking for home stuff at a thrift store or Facebook Marketplace, things like that. And again, I think it just is something that helps give your space more personality rather than just IKEA furniture that everybody has, or not shitting on
Yeah.
IKEA by any means. And I know also sometimes in my head anyway, like unique, quirky things equals really expensive. But I think when you go the way of
Right.
thrifting, there's so many good benefits of thrifting that I probably don't even need to list out, but the the cost savings on it is one of the biggest perks of it. So I think that's
Mhm.
also a great way if you're like currently sitting in your house looking around being like, everything's just so bleh. It's like maybe just hit up the thrift
Yeah.
store this weekend and see what you can find, because I think it's often you don't even know what you need, and then you see it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I know exactly where I'm going to put this." And again, you feel like accomplished since thrifting is a bit of a treasure hunt, so you feel happy when you
Mhm.
look at it and like you really lucked out, but it also, yeah, adds that personality to your space as well.
Yeah. I feel like you could even be sort of finding personality through like everyday items. Like if you're a person who's like, I want to make my kitchen feel a little more lived in, not just, especially if you're like, I'm in a new build apartment with white IKEA kitchen cabinets. How do I spice
Mhm.
this up? Maybe splurge on like the fancy olive oil with the cute label and have that
Mhm.
on the counter. Or the next time you're at a bar and they have matchbooks, take a matchbook and then you can have a bowl of matchbooks somewhere in your house. Or even if I get anything that comes in like a cute paper bag, keep it and frame that. And then if anyone asks you, like, where is this art from? You could be like, it's actually from my favorite store. It's the packaging. Like,
Yeah, there's a
it doesn't
story
have to
behind it.
be like, yeah, exactly. You don't have to be like, I bought this $200 piece of art off Etsy, but like it can be as simple as this was the bag that my socks came in from this cool boutique downtown. And yeah, so you
Totally.
definitely don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money on like, I don't know, Anthropologie or Crate and Barrel or I don't know, any kind of fancy store to have a curated apartment.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the last item I wanted to bring up about sort of aesthetic apartments is kind of the lamest, but it needs to be said to keep your space tidy. Because I feel like there are certain characters in rom-coms where like they have a messy room, but for the most part, it's like kind of effortlessly a little cluttered but functional. And so
Mhm.
if you're looking at your space and you're like, oh, this is not the rom-com dream, maybe do some laundry, put it away, and see if that helps. Because, your rom com star very rarely, I feel like, has a trashed room.
Yeah. Totally. I feel like that brings it full circle to like the whole idea of clustering, because in that
Yeah.
TikTok I saw, she was like, clustering, like there is a fine line and it has to be done right. Otherwise it just looks messy and chaotic and doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
keep it tidy, but yeah. Perfect.
Exactly.
I think the second area of how to be a rom-com main character is all about your outfits. And I think of course, you know, a main character always has a cute apartment, but they always have a super cute wardrobe and just, I don't
Mhm.
know, very aspirational style. But when you really break it down, sometimes it's quite simple. So let's talk about it. But I think the first piece to this whole thing, like I said, it might be actually quite simple. It's just they have a personal style, they know what it is, and they
Mhm.
dress to that all the time. And we have a whole episode on how to find your personal style, some like inspiration and like ideas in that episode. So go
Yeah.
check it out. But I feel like the whole kind of point of it is figuring out what you feel best in, what you think you look the best in, you know, because I think we all have physical insecurities or different body types where we like to dress certain ways to emphasize certain things or de emphasize other things. So it's all about just
Mhm.
finding what makes you feel good and then kind of repeating that in as many different outfits as you can. So if you're someone who likes to dress really girly, then, you know, like that could be all it takes, like just dressing more feminine, and that can inspire so many different outfits. But it's just, yeah, you have that sense of style and you kind of stick to it.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm the type of person who, I think I've talked about this before, but sometimes I feel like I'm, dressing up or putting on a costume, but then that almost makes me like the outfit more because then it's like, this is what I'm envisioning for the night and this is what I'm wearing. Like, I
Mm,
feel like it's important to never feel like, well, I couldn't wear this or I need to tone this down or something. It's like, nope, anyone can wear anything. Like a lot of times I say to myself, like, what would Carrie Bradshaw do
yeah.
if she wanted to wear this outfit? She would wear it. She'd probably add like, I don't know, a crazy hat or something on top of the crazy outfit and be like, this is the look. And so sometimes you just need to remind yourself too. And I feel like it's easier being in a big city because like I see people wearing all kinds of crazy things. Obviously, if you're in a
Totally.
small
Yeah.
town, it might be a different scenario, but even still, I feel like as long as, it's not obscene, like you're not going to get kicked out of a restaurant cuz your I don't know, nipples are out or something, I
Yeah.
say go for it.
Yeah, totally. And it's all about, yeah, dressing for yourself rather than people pleasing or chasing the
Yeah.
latest trends. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you decide how you want to dress, how you want to feel, and go for
Mhm.
it. I love that. Something that's trending on Pinterest right now is RomCom core. So I feel like if
Okay.
you're trying to get inspired or like figure out your personal style or like figure out what does a main character wear, that could be something to search for, but honestly, pro tip is just
Mhm.
type anything into Pinterest and add core at the end. And you'll
Yeah.
get a whole bunch of inspiration, like so much. Like biker
Mhm.
core was a big one last year. I know there was like the cottage core for like cozy fall
Yeah.
outfits. Like literally whatever you think your personal style is, type in core and you're just going to be open to a whole new world on Pinterest. So
Yeah.
I feel that one was pretty easy, but that's pretty much it. Dress for yourself, how you
Yeah.
want to feel, and you're golden. That's how you be a main character.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think the last sort of category is maybe the most important, maybe not, but it's the sort of social life aspect of it and
Yeah,
how to sort of live as the main character.
I love it. I feel this is also sometimes the easiest for me to feel like the main character. Like if I'm just at home in my apartment by
Yes.
myself in a cute outfit, like covering the other two areas we talked about, sometimes I feel like the main character, but then on like the next day I'll be doing the exact same thing and I'll be like, ugh,
Yeah.
like I'm just not feeling it, you know, where when you're going out
Yeah.
or yeah, it's more lifestyle tied. I don't know, it's just easy to get
Yeah.
to romanticize it, I guess. But I think one of the biggest ways I feel like a main character, and this happens every single time, is when I'm getting ready
Mm.
to go out. So it's like, again, that
Yes.
soundtrack comes into play that you were mentioning. If it's like your cooking soundtrack, whatever, I have my getting ready soundtrack that's just like throwback hits or like
Yeah.
90s 2000 like R&B stuff. Like for some reason that just hits when I'm getting ready and I'm getting glam, I'm picking out my outfit, and it's really like that getting ready montage that you'd see in a rom-com taking place in real
Mhm.
life. So I feel like that's the first part to it, but even just like going out with friends, grabbing dinner and drinks, one of my favorite hobbies, which isn't even
Yeah.
really a hobby, but it is for me. Like, I don't know, it's just, I feel like easy when you're sitting around like drinking a cocktail with your friends to be like, oh my God, I just feel like we're in Sex in the City right now. Or, I don't know,
Yeah.
grabbing a
Yeah.
cute Saturday coffee with your significant other. Like, it just could easily feel like a movie moment. But, anyways, the whole point of this, sorry, before we go into the coffee world of things, getting up or getting done up and going out, such a movie moment.
Yeah. I also feel like hosting can feel very movie. Like if you like lean into it, like if you're hosting a dinner party and you're like, this is going to be just by candlelight and I'm going to
Yeah.
cook in my apron and that kind of thing can also be very rom-com esque.
Totally. I feel on the hosting thing, like something I was thinking a lot about lately is how when we become adults, we don't have sleepovers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting like bummed out thinking about this. And it's funny because last year, my best friend and I had a sleepover for a Galentine's night. And this
Mm-hmm.
year, she was like, do you want to do that again? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I haven't had a sleepover since this
Yeah.
time last year, you know? And she
Yeah.
loves it because she lives with her boyfriend now. So she's like, I can just like come over.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a girls' night. Like, it'll be so fun. Her boyfriend's, you know, hanging
Yeah.
out with her guy friends. It's great. And I'm just like, this is so fun. But like, why don't we do this anymore? Because in high school, I feel like, especially for like us gals, it was just such a fun thing to do. It was like, and it's so
Yeah.
easy and simple and inexpensive unless you're hosting, but to just go over someone's house, you know, three
Yeah.
girls or whatever, however many there are in your friend group, even just one friend, and make a bag of popcorn, watch a movie, play a little
Yeah.
game, like card game, whatever. And it just feels so fun. So I feel like if you, yeah, don't want to get dolled up, that's not your thing, think about hosting a slumber party because
Mm-hmm.
that sounds so fun. And please invite me because I really want to come.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think another good point is to sort of scout out the main character places, I guess, in your neighborhood. So this is like, I don't know, find the cute coffee shop and make that your regular hangout, or I have like a yoga studio and Pilates studio that's just like exactly the vibe, and make that a part of your sort of like routine,
Yeah.
especially if you like just moved to a city and don't know a lot of people, or you're like, I want to get out of the house. This can be a great way to do it. Be like, I'm going to walk and try a different coffee shop every single Sunday until I find like the one. And then that's just
Hmm.
going to be my coffee shop.
Yeah. I love that so much. I think too, when you do find that spot, like becoming a regular somewhere has main character energy written all over it. Like, I think of
Yes.
obviously like Friends, they always hang out in Central Perk, or think about like How I Met Your Mother, they're
Mm-hmm.
always at the same bar. And it's just like, I guess those aren't really necessarily rom coms or movies, but again, just main character energy in general. But it's like going somewhere that isn't your house or your friend's house and people know you, you feel like a main
Yeah.
character, you know? And my sister
Yeah.
actually, she's like, the people at Starbucks just know me. Like they know my order, they know my name,
Yeah.
and they know my schedule. So I feel like she said one time she went in, her drink was already made before she like even paid for it,
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
thing, because they saw her coming and it was a done deal. You know, they knew what she was getting. Or one of the YouTubers I watch, like again, they know her, so they're just like, "Do you want your coffee hot or iced today? Because we know your order. Just
Yeah.
sometimes you know are different between hot or cold." So it's like that makes you feel so good, and I guess it gives you a sense of community, which is really nice. But again,
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know, makes you feel like a main character.
Yeah. It also gives you the chance to like meet people. Like if you're in there
Totally.
every day and someone else is, you get the chance to like meet with them and chat with them if
Yeah.
you want to.
Yeah, definitely. Even I think about like my nail salon. Like I'm a regular at my nail salon every 3 to 4 weeks. So I get to talk to
Yeah.
my girl about, you know, things that are going on
Yeah.
in her life, and she'll follow up, be like, "Oh, how was your trip?" or whatever. She then asks about me, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe we're not friends, like she's my nail girl and I'm her client. Like that's the
Yeah.
relationship we have. But
Yeah.
you could turn it like there is potential for that to turn into like friends or whatever, especially if it's something you're doing all the time. But yeah, I love that. I know I've already like kind of beat people over the head with this whole idea, but I think another big part of main character energy is making eye contact with strangers if you're single, and essentially
Mm-hmm.
just manifesting your own meet cute. I think that's what all of us
Mm-hmm.
single girls are wishing for and waiting for, is to just meet somebody out in public in a really cute way. So we have a really cute story to tell our friends or to rehearse at our wedding when people are like, "Oh, how did you meet?" It's like, "Oh, we were at that
Yeah.
coffee shop we were just talking about," or, "Oh, we reached for the same, I don't know, bag of carrots at the grocery store." Like, I know it
Yeah.
sounds stupid, but I don't know, I feel like it's normal to like daydream about this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's just all the things that we've talked about in past episodes, but like not being tied
Mm-hmm.
to your phone, and actually like taking in your surroundings and like being open to meeting people. But also it is making eye contact and like flirting with people, and I don't know, maybe not flirting with random strangers like out of nowhere, but making eye contact,
Yeah.
smiling, and like being friendly, I guess, and then maybe flirting a little as well. And this could be at the bar. I think it's easy. I feel like everyone's kind of
Mm-hmm.
in that headspace when you're at the bar on like a Friday night, but it could be anywhere. Like I said, I romanticize
Yeah.
meeting somebody at the grocery store in like the organic food section. I don't know.
Yes.
Like it could be literally anywhere at all.
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie Fresh? Because they meet at the grocery store.
No, I don't think I've heard
It's a
of that one.
horror film.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No.
It's on Disney and it's starring a heartthrob, but they have like a meet cute at the grocery store.
Oh my gosh.
Hold
But
on.
it's
I need to tell
horror?
you who it's starring. I feel like it's someone you like. Oh, it's Sebastian Stan. Do you know who that guy is? He's
I
very
don't
handsome.
I don't think so, but I need to look him up.
I don't know why I thought you liked him, but yeah, it's him and Daisy Edgar Jones. But they meet in the grocery store and it's like very cute.
Okay.
But
But
it's
I'm
also a
thrown
horror
that
film.
I'm thrown it's horror. Is it like one
Yeah.
of them's like possessed or like obsessed with the other? Because I'm like, maybe I don't want to meet someone in the grocery store.
Yeah, it's so much worse than that.
Oh God. Okay, I'm scared already. I'll probably never watch
Yeah.
it, but I'll Google the main guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious because I was like thinking of that moment.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a whole other
We're talking
story.
about rom-com
But
tag, not horror movies.
not rom-com turned horror. Yeah. I think one thing I've already talked about playlists,
Yeah.
but Spotify playlist for the moment. And my Spotify, I don't know if this is a new feature or if I like only just figured it out, but my Spotify creates playlists for like specific to me for any moment. Like
Yeah.
I can search like working on a Monday morning and it will have like Monday morning work mix for Tegan.
Yeah.
And I am just obsessed.
It's so good.
Because it's curating the vibe. Yeah, like it's like
Yeah.
driving or packing for vacation, what I was doing. And it's like playing me the songs that I listen to when I'm on vacation. So I'm partially creeped out because I'm like, how do you know this? But also I appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah. And I feel it's the best way to find new music that way, because it's like
Yes.
taking what you like and you're already listened to, but then pulling in new things that it thinks you'll be interested in based off that. And it always wins. Like Spotify's the best.
Yeah.
Spotify, okay, I don't want to like put this out there because we're already paying an arm and a leg for all these subscriptions, but Spotify is one of them where I'm like, they could literally charge me anything a month and I would pay it. Like, I just love Spotify.
Yeah. They're the opposite of Netflix to me, where I'm like,
Exactly.
if Netflix pushes me, I am gone. Spotify, I'm like, I will love you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. speaking of, let's also just quickly plug our Spotify playlist. I know we have a whole main character episode from maybe last fall sometime, maybe last summer. I don't remember, but we put together a main character playlist. So go check it out. But even create your own playlist, you know, of like the soundtrack that makes you feel like the main character. I have my own. It's very similar to the one we created for the podcast, but it hits. And it's like when I am going for a walk and just like having one of those days, I put it on. I always cook to it. Like it's the best playlist.
Yeah.
And it's full of rom-com songs. So it's like Dreams by the Cranberries because it's You've Got Mail. It's like, you know, the Suddenly I See, it's Devil Wears Prada. Like it's very rom-com inspired. So check it out. But on that note, Tag, I was going to ask you, do you have a song that comes to mind that's like your main character song for you personally?
Ooh.
I'm only asking because I know mine and I've spent a long time thinking about it. So I'm putting you on the spot though. I should have texted you first.
I don't know. I feel like, there are some songs. I feel like they're all associated with cooking, where it's like if I listen to like Sunday Kind of Love and I'm cooking, I'm like, this is the life. Or I have a lot of fall songs like Autumn in New York and Manhattan. And when I listen to those, I'm like, this is my life coming together. And I first listened to them like when we went to New York on our trip. So it always just feels like, I don't know, I'm in that headspace. But for some reason, I'm much more like autumn focused. I think in the summer, I listen to like pop. And I'm like, what's the song in the summer? Let's focus on that. So that changes year to year. Like, I feel like every summer I maybe have a different song, but then once fall rolls around, I'm like, nope, back to my cozy living. But what's your song?
Yeah. So mine is definitely from A Cinderella Story. Like I mentioned, that's the first rom-com that seems to come to mind for these things. And it's Sympathy by the Goo Goo Dolls. I'm pretty sure it's the Goo Goo Dolls. Hold on.
Okay.
I was so confident and I'm like, let me just fact check myself because no, it is Sympathy by the Goo Goo Dolls. And it makes me think of that movie, but it's also just like a feel-good song. But I think I maybe mentioned this also. The other one that comes to mind for me is Breathe by Michelle Branch. And I don't know why, but there's just something about Michelle Branch. It's probably the fact that she was like an early 2000s like pop singer when all these coming of age movies were a thing or were a big thing and some of the classics came out. But for some reason, I just associate her with that type of vibe, which makes me also feel like a main character in a movie.
I love that.
Yeah. So if this is your vibe, go check out our playlist because like I said, so much there.
100%. I also kind of feel like, I don't know, thinking about like music and the thing I'm listening to, I feel like the main character moments in my life, looking back, it's like they're just like the little moments where things were unplanned and I just like embraced the moment. And it's like, you know, I was barbecuing in the backyard and I was like, I'm just going to keep listening to my music and I'm going to eat my dinner out here. And it's like, that's so lame sounding, but those are then the moments that make up your summer. Or I don't know. I hope that's making sense. Like, it's like the little moments, not the big planned.
No, I think we've kind of mentioned, like, talked about that a little bit. I don't even know in what context, but that's it exactly. Is there's only so many big moments in your life. You know what I mean? So if you were just constantly,
and you can't live for those.
Yeah, exactly. If you were just constantly making those even bigger, but overlooking the day-to-day things, like, I don't know, life would be so boring and pointless, you know, or like, I don't know. So it's important to enjoy those things. But I love that you say that because I think it's a segue to one of my last thoughts on how to feel like the main character. And I have to chase sunrises, sunsets, and skylines. And those are three things that make me feel like a main character all the time. Like, I'm not very often up for a sunrise. I will be honest about that. But for the times that I have seen the sunrise, and sometimes, like, I've never gone to watch a sunrise, like, at the beach or something like that, but I think that would be so
Right. Yeah.
magical. However, to see a sunset at the beach or see the sunset over the skyline, like, that is
Yeah.
so magical and just makes you feel like a main character. And I'm a sucker for a skyline. Like, I think it's because I'm a small town girl at heart who just like always dreamed of the big city. So I'm like, anytime I see a big city skyline, I'm like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, like I can just picture the movie that happens on the streets within that big city. But it's
Yeah.
such a great perspective to like look at it from a distance and just let your mind daydream about it. So I don't know. Those are kind of some other little moments where it might be just like, well, it happened like driving home from Tegan's one night. I was in my Uber and we like
Yeah.
drove right through downtown Toronto, which isn't really the route. Like, we didn't have to take
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
route from Tegan's to my place, but we did. And I was just like, oh my God, I love this so much. You know, like it just makes me feel like a
Yeah.
main character looking out the window at like the skyline happening. But again, just little moments, put on a playlist or a song to enjoy
Yeah.
them and soak it in.
Yeah. Especially driving in the car. Like,
Yeah.
I always find like the first hot day where I'm driving in my car and I realize, like, wait, I can have the windows down.
Yes.
That is like the best. And I have so many specific memories. Like, I remember the day Avril Lavigne's album came out. Was it called The Best Damn Thing? Is that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Hell yeah, it
when
is.
that album came out, my mom and I drove around with the windows down and I was just like, this is perfect. And
This
I
truly
remember
is the
one
best
day,
damn thing.
yeah, the best damn thing. You nailed
Yeah.
it. I remember one day we went to the beach and I think this must have been right before we went to university or the summer between like high school and university. We went to the beach with friends and we were like driving in the car, and this was when We Can't Stop by Miley Cyrus had just come out and we were like
Oh my God,
blasting We
yeah.
Can't Stop.
Yes.
And it was just like, this is better than the beach right now.
Yeah, that was definitely right when we went into college university, because I remember getting
Yeah.
to campus that like end of August, and that was the song. Yeah, so funny.
Yes.
I have a similar
Good.
memory. The summer I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry came out. I
Yes, that's another one.
Yeah, I so vividly remember going to one of my childhood best friend's birthday parties. Her birthday's in June, like end of June, right when school gets out. So it was just the perfect time for a birthday, and we went to the beach this year, so it was just like me, her mom driving us, and then I think she maybe had like 2 or 3 other friends. And again, it's just like windows down, we're driving to the beach. This is the song of the summer.
Yeah.
Like, such a good vibe. And it's also like driving down the back roads or like taking the scenic route. So I feel like even if you are, well, it's funny. I feel if you're a city person, maybe you would romanticize driving down back roads the way I romanticize a skyline view, like, because it's not what you're used to, you know? But I think if you are in the city, sometimes it is just taking the scenic route rather than the fastest route. And then, yeah, putting the windows down, blasting your favorite song, turning on that playlist, you will instantly feel like you're in a movie for sure.
Yeah, so I think we're going to leave things there. As Sadie mentioned, we have a Spotify and we have so many playlists that will make you feel like the main character. And you can find us, we're our Golden 20s on Spotify. We're also at our Golden 20s on pretty much every other social platform. Specifically, Instagram and TikTok we post to a lot, but we have a Pinterest page that has a ton of really cool ideas as well. We also have a Patreon page, which is the best way to show your support for the podcast. And so special shout out to all our patrons over there. I also wanted to mention that our mod ambassador code changed a little bit. So it's been updated in all the show links, but I'm going to mention it again. It's Golden 20. And yeah, like I said, that'll be in the show notes. So definitely check that out, as well as all our other affiliate codes and promo codes and that kind of thing. But other than that, thank you so much for listening.
See you next Tuesday.